A very good morning, dear students, and a warm welcome to Effects of Electric Current. So, last time we have finished already with the working and construction, principal working and construction of the electric motor. But last time I forgot to show you a small video on how the electric motor works. By using the Fleming's left hand rule. Okay, so you can see over here how the motor works. So it works on a principle that when when a current carrying conductor is kept in the magnetic field, it experiences a force, and this force is maximum when it is the magnetic field and the current are perpendicular to each other. So by applying the Fleming's left hand rule, you can find out how is the what is the direction of the force on the conductor. So this is regarding the electric motor. So today we shall move on to the next part of the lesson, that is electromagnetic induction. So we have already now finished with magnetic effects of electric current, and the second part, as I mentioned to you in the previous the first video about the electromagnetic induction, that it is completely different. I mean, it is just the opposite of the magnetic effect of the electric current, correct? So in the magnetic effect of electric current, current is producing magnetic field, whereas here now the magnetic field will be producing the current that we are going to see today in electromagnetic induction. Based on this principle of electromagnetic induction only, we have our generator constructed. Okay, fine. So for that, for the working and construction of the generator, first we need to learn about electromagnetic induction. So let's begin now with the electromagnetic induction. Now we know that when the current carrying conductor is kept in the magnetic field, you know that it experiences a force, and due to this force this conductor moves, and it is maximum when it is perpendicular to the current carrying conductor is kept perpendicular to the direction of the magnetic field. Fine. So now what will happen if an electric current conductor is moving in the magnetic field? Suppose instead of the conductor kept in the magnetic field, okay, here if suppose we are changing the magnetic field around a stationary conductor, okay, this is one thing, we are changing the magnetic field around a stationary conductor. Secondly, when we see that the conductor is moving and the magnetic field is kept stationary, what will happen to the conductor? So this was studied by our the research was conducted by Michael Faraday in the year 1831. So he got interested to know about what will happen if the conductor is kept in the changing magnetic field, or even when the conductor is moving and the magnetic field is kept stationary, what will happen? Okay, will it generate any current or not? That was studied by Michael Faraday. Now, this year in your syllabus, the introduction regarding Michael Faraday or the introduction of the scientist Michael Faraday is not there. So, you are not going to study it in this year, or neither any question is going to come on the introduction of Michael Faraday. So, we will skip this part and we will move on further. Okay, now even the galvanometer has been cancelled, but for that you need to learn about you should know something basic about the galvanometer. So that I am going to tell you in this video about what is galvanometer, okay, and why it has been used, okay. But its working, how it works, what are the properties of the galvanometer, that you need not study. Only you need to know that why galvanometer is required. That's why I am going to tell you about a galvanometer. So a galvanometer is a sensitive device which is used to detect the presence of current. Okay. Now you might be thinking, now even an ammeter is used to measure the current. Then what is the difference between these two? Okay, a galvanometer is a device, it's a sensitive device which can measure very less current, even in milliamperes. Fine. Whereas the this ammeter is mostly meant for measuring the larger current. even the galvanometer shows the magnitude as well as the direction of the current, whereas an ammeter does not show any direction, it only shows the magnitude. That means it only measures. Okay, so this is only the difference between the galvanometer and ammeter. Now why a galvanometer is used? It's because it can detect even the small amounts of current in a conductor. Fine, so that is why galvanometer is used. So it is used to detect the presence of a current, which an ammeter cannot do all the time when if they are very small currents. Fine, so that is why a galvanometer. And it is also working on the same principle is that of the electric motor. Electric motor works on the principle that when a current carrying conductor is kept in the magnetic field, it experiences the force. And in same here in the case of a galvanometer, it also is a device which works on the same principle. Fine, so this is regarding brief information about a galvanometer. So it is used to detect the presence of the current, and that is why we require it here. Why? Because we need to know whether the current is produced when there is a changing magnetic field around a conductor, or when a current carrying conductor is moved when the magnetic field is kept stationary. Whether the current is induced or not, that we are supposed to observe, and for that we need to use a galvanometer. So let's move on to the next part of the lesson. So you can here see over here how a galvanometer works. You can see in this video that how a galvanometer deflects when so it is also working with the same principle as that of the electric motor. So this much is enough for you, and it also shows the direction, change in the direction. You can see the pointer in the galvanometer deflects on both the sides of the zero mark depending upon the direction of the current. You can see this galvanometer here that it will be deflecting on both the directions. So now let us proceed with the next part of the lesson, that is how an electromagnetic induction is occurring, or how a current is induced in the coil. Fine. So for that we need to perform certain experiment. Now this experiment which I am going to show first, that is also cancelled from your syllabus, but for reference you need to know how because of the magnetic field current is induced in the coil. So that we are going to see. Here we are not using any cell or a battery. We are not giving any potential difference here. Potential, we are trying to generate potential difference in this. So that means potential difference is not used here. No battery or no cell is used so that the current will be flowing. Okay, when the potential difference is applied, then only the current flows in a conductor. But here, instead of using a cell, we are now going to make a cell. That means a galvanometer is almost, DC generator is almost like a battery. Fine. So here only we have to see that when the magnetic field is changing around a conductor, whether the current is induced or not. Okay, by using a galvanometer. So let us perform certain activities here. To perform the first activity, we need to have a long copper wire, a bar magnet, and a galvanometer to detect the presence of the conductor. Now you need to take two stands here, and on that you need to fix the copper wire. Okay, so let the position of this bending position which is shown over here of the copper wire, let that position be A. Fine. Now the two ends of these wire, one of the ends should be conducted with the help of a wire to the positive terminal of the galvanometer, whereas the second end of the copper wire should be connected to the negative terminal of the galvanometer. So this is, and now you need to keep a bar magnet erect in such a way that it is just below the copper wire. Fine. Now what you need to do is that you have to just move this stand to one position so that this wire becomes stout, okay, straight in position. Okay, now when it is done so, what will happen? So when it is done, so let this position of the wire be considered as position B when it is becoming stout. Now let's see whether there is a deflection in the galvanometer or not. What do we see here? we see that there is a small deflection, okay, the quick deflection in the galvanometer, and then it comes back to the zero back. Okay, so that means when when you move the conductor here, when you move the conductor, that is the conductor means the wire here, copper wire, you find that below there is a magnetic field, that is magnet is kept below, that means the magnetic field is there around. So when the coil, or sorry, the wire is moved, whether there is induction of the current or not. And yes, of course, because you could see that the galvanometer was deflecting. So when the galvanometer deflects, we know that it is producing some amount of current. Now let's see when the conductor is moved back, okay, to its position A again, whether there is a deflection in the galvanometer or not. Yes, of course there will be a deflection in the galvanometer, but this time it will be on the other side of the zero, quick deflection on the other side and coming back to the zero. Fine. So this means that there is induction of the current when the current carrying conductor is moved when the magnet is kept fixed. So this is only called as the Faraday's electromagnetic induction. Now this was when we moved the conductor in the magnetic field. Now let's see if the magnetic field is moving and the conductor is kept stationary, whether there is induction of the current or not. Fine. So here you can see that when the magnet is moved little ahead, you will find that there is also deflection in the galvanometer, quick deflection, and then coming back to the zero. That means here you have moved in front now, okay, front. Now let's see whether the magnetic field is induced again when it is moved back. Yes, of course. So that means whenever you move the the magnetic field also around the conductor, stationary conductor, you find that there is induction of the current. So here you have seen now two situations wherein in one you have kept the magnetic field stationary and the wire moving. Okay, and in the second case you have seen that you have kept the wire stationary and kept moving the magnetic field or changing the magnetic field. So in both these cases you could find that there is induction of the current. So if a conducting wire is kept moving in a magnetic field, a current is produced in it. Secondly, when the current, if the magnet is moved around a fixed wire, also there is induction of the current. So that means from this what we can infer is that whenever there is a change in the magnetic field around the coil, in both the cases, whether the magnetic field is kept stationary or the wire is kept stationary and one of them is moving, in both the cases you will find that there is an production of the current. So that current is only called as the induced current. Current is induced in the conductors. Fine. Let us proceed now by doing another activity here. For this we need to have the rectangular loop, a solenoid. You know now what is a solenoid coil. Fine. And you require to connect this solenoid to a battery through the plug key. Fine. So that means this is a complete circuit wherein a battery is there, plug key is there. So instead of now using a magnet, bar magnet, we will use a solenoid coil here, because you know that a solenoid coil also produces the current in the solenoid coil also has the magnetic field around it, correct? So instead of using a bar magnet now, we will use now a solenoid coil, which is nothing but producing the magnetic field. So actually this is also called as the mutual induction. Mutual induction, that means the current is passed in one of the setup in a solenoid coil, which produces the magnetic field, and with the effect of the magnetic field of this solenoid coil, the current is induced in the other loop. So that is also called as a mutual induction. Fine. So that was electromagnetic induction. This is also electromagnetic induction, but in that electromagnetic induction, this is called as a mutual induction. Fine. So now let us see this rectangular loop. We will now connect it to the galvanometer. Okay, now we will see when the plug key is inserted in the um, plug key is inserted in the circuit, okay, in the solenoid coil, whether current is produced or not. The current will be produced, and you will find that it will also produce a magnetic field, and due to the effect of this magnetic field, you find that the current is induced in the other coil. Fine. You can see over here the current is induced in the other coil, which is shown by the galvanometer. You can see over here that there is a quick deflection in the magnetic field, quick deflection of the galvanometer in at one direction, coming back to the zero. Now why does this happen? It's because the magnetic field in the solenoid coil is inducing motion of the conductor, how it has been moving, and the current which is induced will be shown by this finger, that is the middle finger. Fine. So this is how we can find out. So next time I'm going to show you, with the help of the Fleming's right hand rule, explain the working of the generator. So till then students, bye and thank you. God bless you all.